Hello? My camera thing's not showing up. I'm confused. There it is. Alright, we're good. Hello! Oh, I'm way too loud. I'm not too loud. Okay, I don't know what's happening there. I'm just gonna turn everything down. There we go. That's a little better. Alright, hello! I am officially 20 minutes late. I was supposed to start at 4, and then I realized around 3:30 that my test bench that I do these streams from didn't even have Windows installed, because I swapped to Ubuntu for another project I'm working on, and just didn't have anything ready. So we're doing it. We are streaming some Splitgate today. It is the Hunt the Community event, and I should probably pull up the event on the server. I swear if my phone doesn't stop ringing. Events. Where's the events? Splitgate. Hunt the Community. Oh yeah, they have a big voice server for it. I'm not really gonna do voice. We're gonna do our own little stream here, but we're gonna, you know, play in Splitgate here. Check it out. I think everything's working. Yeah, I think we're good. What's up, Najee Tech Pro? I guess I should also mention in my tweet I'm also on Twitch. Also on Twitch. Twitch TV. Boop. Beep. Hi, Remy. You want to say hi to the stream? This is Remy. She's our oldest cat. Oh my god. Stop texting. She hangs out in the studio now so she doesn't get in fights with the other cats. Great stream. It hasn't even started yet. You don't know if it's gonna be great. Just messing with you. Alright. Everything should be set up. Let's play some Splitgate. Let me know how the volume levels are and stuff, those of you who are here early. I'm just gonna add... I'm not gonna add everyone. They can see my stream. Alright, Hunt the Community! Hope everybody's having a great weekend. I don't usually stream on Saturdays, and I'm already seeing why, and that's fine. But, hey. Let me know if the game volume's too loud. It has been a very long time since I've played a first-person shooter, and I have not optimized my settings or anything, because like I said, this is a brand new Windows install. Everything else should be fine and synced from Steam. I've pretty much exclusively been playing Baldur's Gate lately. I'm missing all those. Alright, need to get my mouse cable. My mouse is not reaching. I can barely pull it. There we go. Alright. It's feeling pretty good. I was worried I'd feel way worse. Like I said, I've been playing exclusively Baldur's Gate lately. With my wife after the kid goes to bed and stuff, but I'm feeling it. I can always get me some Splitgate in. Especially when I'm playing the Scout. Bonk! I think it's working. Alright, so if you're unaware, if somehow you're tuning in and haven't heard of it, Splitgate is an arena-style first-person shooter. You know, like Halo, classic Call of Duty, arcade FPS style. It is completely free to play. It is a blast. It has some fairly, I guess, limited scope, especially because they're working on the next game at the moment. But I really gotta get caught up. My sensitivity is... I'm not used to being pinpoint accurate, clicking heads. Hello. Yeah, it's a great game. They have these little events all the time. I honestly don't get to do them very often. This one is specifically Hunt the Community, where you're supposed to match up in the playlist and try to find us, the MVPs, as my role is, or the devs, or other community members, streamers, content creators, what have you, and try to murder us. Think Twitch will ever get AV1? It seems like they're dragging their feet. Maybe it's a cost thing for them. I will say that it is very surprising how slow their rollout, if it's happening, has been, given that they were the ones pushing for this shift for game streaming in the first place. If you remember any of my original AV1, NVIDIA, Ampere coverage and all of that, Twitch was the one pushing for all of this. So it is very surprising that they're not the one pushing for it first. Like, it was surprising they weren't first in the first place. It's surprising that this far later, there's not even a peep about it from them. But I do still believe they will get it. That they will add in the support for it. But I don't have any clue on timelines, and since it's not announced, I couldn't speak to it, even if I did. But, like, they have not uttered a peep about AV1 in a long time, and that is kind of scary. Like, we don't want them to be stuck with this. And I do wonder if part of it for them is an infrastructure change with regards to, like, transcoding streams for people who don't have AV1 playback. But I feel like with a lot of hardware these days, especially that AMD card I showed off that can do a bunch of AV1 streams at once and stuff, which I have on hand, I can show you in a minute. I feel like that's not really a legitimate issue. But I don't know. I don't know what their infrastructure looks like. I don't know what, you know. Easy for me to tell massive mega corporation to spend millions and millions of dollars to do this when I'm just over here running OBS, but I like Splitgate. It's my most played game on PC. Very nice. Play on Steam Deck in dock mode. Nice. Yeah, I tried playing Steam Deck on, or playing Splitgate on Steam Deck just normally, and the controller just really sucks for me. It's fine for non-shooter games, but it has a lot of specific issues that I have with controllers for FPS titles. Nope. Nope, nope. Peek, peek, peek. Nope. Now they peeked. I hit them! Damn it. I would love to see the card. Yeah, I'll pull it out after this match. That sounds inappropriate, but you know what I mean. You catch my drift. Also looking forward to HDMI 2.1 capture card coverage. Me too! Freaking AverMedia, man. Like, not to down-talk anyone and whatever, like, whatever their schedule is, but they already have pre-orders up and they have not shipped review units, which is not normal. I don't think, at least. Maybe it is, like, I don't know. It's unfortunate, because everyone's asking if they should get in on the pre-order, and with everything having shortages these days, there's a little bit of FOMO involved for everyone. That is kind of crappy. But given the potential limitations we've heard about, with regards to specs, like, I would wait for reviews to make sure it'll do what you want. So many people have projected these massive expectations onto these capture cards, and I don't think they're gonna do a lot of them. Like, some people are asking, oh, we lost? How did we lose? We were holding all of those points. That's weird. But some, like, people were looking for 1440p 360 coverage and stuff like that, which isn't even in the HDMI spec, and I'm just like, it's not gonna do that, y'all. But the big thing for me is that 1440p 240 was not in the original announced spec sheet, and that's a big concern. But they have said, like, in October it'll get a firmware update or something. I'm not entirely sure there, but again, don't buy a product based on promised features. So we'll see. Can I play Splitgate any game with you one day? Sure, at some point. I'm trying not to party up too much for this, because it's for, like, the whole point of this event is for everyone to come find us in the lobbies, so if we fill it up, people can't do that, but yeah, I mean, when I'm playing games, I play this all the time. I'm not always playing games, but when I am, Sometimes I go a while without getting to play much. Hello? These things are lagging. Alright, anyway, so this is it. The AMD Alveo MA35D. This little card is basically 2 compute units on one card, PCIe 8X, or really 2 PCIe 4X setups. Can do like something like 64 1080p 60 streams, 4 or so 4K 60 streams, and AV1, H.264, H.265, all on this little card that doesn't even need extra power. It does need some sort of cooling. But it only runs at like 35 watts or something. By the way, no game audio? Really? Is that true? Oh, why hasn't anyone said anything until now? Yeah, it was routed to my headphones. I just reinstalled Wavelink when I reinstalled Windows and stuff. Everything was set up wrong. Alright, that should be there this time. We'll get it queued up here. It was interesting because your video on the AverMedia competitor to the HD60S, you more or less said it was in a weird spot. Yeah, it's like, with the 4K 60 cards, AverMedia came out super strong, launching multiple cards at once, while Elgato really struggled to even get their first card going well, and it was a weird, like, quad 1080p card squished together or whatever. Does game sound okay now, y'all? And AverMedia, like, in my opinion, was absolutely in the lead with the 4K 60 cards, and like their cards were still some of the best that you could get. And then as new stuff came out, they just kept lagging further and further behind, and now it's like they just, I don't know. Did you hear that? Night Dev Studios remastering Turok 3 and Star Wars Dark Forces? I did. There's a lot of remaster stuff coming out lately. You excited for Splitgate 2 or whatever the sequel's called? I'm cautiously optimistic. Like, I will be excited for more development on Splitgate. I was kind of bummed that they shifted production plans to move to working on a new game instead of supporting this one the way that the original plan was, but I believe that in some way it's potentially for the best, because there was a lot of, like, lingering systematic issues with this game, just because of the way it was originally developed as a small team and all that stuff, that I think starting fresh might be for the better. It definitely, not super loud, let's turn it up a little bit then. It definitely puts the game in an awkward spot for potential new players, because like there's this constant talk whenever players stream this game or make videos on it or whatever, that, oh, Splitgate, it wasn't it shutting down or whatever whenever they announced like the end of development. And it's a really awkward position to be in, and I think it kind of hurts momentum. Like, they had a lot of momentum going for it, and they started losing it when the new Call of Duties and Halos and whatever came out, but I think it puts it in even more awkward position to keep that momentum going when they're just pivoting to a whole new game and we just kind of don't hear anything for a few months. It's just, I don't know. I love that the game's still running, and I will play this game forever, and I have personally, like, demanded that they introduce LAN play or something if it ever shuts down, because it's unacceptable to let games just stop being played. But I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it, clearly. We know nothing about it though, so I part of my caution here is not having a clue like what they're gonna do different with the new game, because I really like the formula that they have now. I question some of the sustainability monetization wise given the current gaming landscape, but I love the game. I love the return to the classic arcade shooter style. I love how it feels. I'm super distracted talking instead of playing, but you catch my drift. And so hello, I missed every single one of those shots except for the last one. So until I know if they're gonna do something drastically different with the new one, I don't want to honestly feel too hyped. I need to I still never configured my sensitivity after we started. Let's do 1.8. 1.8. See if that fixes it. I was using a different mouse whenever I played last. See, that doesn't feel sensitive enough now. We'll do crazy high DPI. Oh, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's the move. Nope, that's not the move. I hate getting in like strafing rhythms with someone else where we're just constantly like dodging each other. Can't wait for AMD FS3 or FSR3 to come out. Yeah. I haven't actually looked at the announcement. I've seen everyone sharing the video and stuff. I haven't looked at the stuff yet, but it does seem exciting. I have this weird... Damn it. What's up? Greetings from Germany. What's up, Simply Dennis? I have this weird thing with FSR and DLSS. Like, it's like every time one comes out with a feature, the other one immediately mirrors it. And whenever that happens, in my opinion... Alright, so I need to turn DPI up super high, turn this down a little bit more. Oh, and my vertical didn't even save, so now it felt really weird. We'll do 1.5 and 1.5. Save it that way. Thank you for killing me while I was AFK. Like, I don't know how to explain it, and competition's good. Like, I wouldn't want anything else. But, like, obviously I want competition to take place. I want AMD people to have access to the same stuff, and I love that AMD makes their FSR and all their little features for stuff open source and able to be run on all GPUs and all that stuff. That is great. I'm not saying I want that to change. But the way that they can it's not immediate, but you know, just like immediately start competing with these new features that NVIDIA launches, makes me think that I gotta be I don't know how to word this. In a non, like, accusatory or malicious way, because I don't mean anything bad by that, but it makes me suspicious about the original implementations, even from NVIDIA, that it's something that's so easily just, like, clonable. Like, why is this so easy for them to clone, and what... I don't know. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. It's usually NVIDIA coming up with something in AMD. Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like, but it's like immediate. It's like, oh, we have this feature. Oh, we have this feature. It's like, it's not... I guess what bugs me is it makes it seem like it's... Whatever work NVIDIA does isn't that original, I guess. Or unique, because it's just, like, they're... It's like they're all just using the same library and waiting for... Like... each other to implement the same library. Whereas, yeah, with tessellation and Hairworks, you had company exclusive features. And while like, people hated that, you could at least tell they were doing work to do things differently on the physical hardware. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. My words are clearly failing me at the moment. I'm very exhausted. My words are not there, but... It is very impressive, like, assuming I'm completely wrong about all of this, it is very impressive how much AMD is able to turn things around. The code is open for devs, so it's easy to see what's done and then remake it in their own way. So NVIDIA's implementing open source stuff? Like, is that happening? I didn't think DLSS was open source. I forgot what I was saying before I read that. Whatever. Like, I'm excited. FSR3 is a big deal, and keeping... Oh, I was saying it's very impressive, assuming that I'm wrong about all of this, that AMD immediately turns around, because they first are like, yeah, we have content-aware sharpening, and everyone's like, yeah, including me, was like, wait, that sucks. And then they're like, okay, now we have actual AI upscaling, and it's pretty cool, and now it's really cool on version 2. To go from... lol, we're competing because we turned up the sharpening slider to, hey, we are literally competing now, is very impressive. But Oh! I'm so rusty, y'all. I haven't played a first-person shooter in probably since LTX at the LAN, and that doesn't even really count because I was playing with a mouse I stole from the NVIDIA booth and a laptop. I haven't like seriously played an FPS in a couple months now. Just been busy, and when I did play games, it was Baldur's Gate, which is a very different game in every possible way. I see you. You took the bait and still killed me. That 4 hit points. Oh, I had no idea. I had no idea DLSS was open source. I feel like an idiot. They have to make an SDK for the devs to use, and AMD can see and remake it. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess that, yeah, I knew that. I'm not aiming, y'all. What's happening? Y'all have seen my Splitgate play in my other streams and videos. Just use shotgun. I don't have a shotgun. Ironically, I'm better no-scoping the sniper than DMRing. That's okay. I'll get warmed up. We're just getting warmed up. This is only like game 3. Just been a little while. Speaking of sniper, looking forward to doing my first football live stream soon. Sick. Sounds exciting. What GPU cooler were you using? What are you talking about? Whatever one is on the card? Huh? Hello? So for those watching at home, this stream is on YouTube, rather. The stream is 4K 60, but it's being upscaled from my 1440p game, which I just realized I may not have scale filtering turned on for. I don't. Maybe it looks a little bit better now. So the game's running at 1440p, the stream's running at 4K, and this is AV1 at 20 megabits per second. LTX joke. Oh, you mean the billet thing? Haha. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. Losing C. That's still embarrassing for me. Losing B. B lost. A secured. C secured. Oh, that was a trap. That was a trap. Does AV1 stop older PCs from viewing streams? No, it plays back the same way as normal videos and streams. So they transcode everything to VP9. So it's the same as watching anyone else's stream. Already out of Sunkissed. Is everyone hyped for the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World anime? Hell yeah! Of course we are. Got them backing tracks going. I don't know if y'all can even hear those. If the game was quiet. Alright. But yeah, that's what I worry about with Twitch's potential AV1 implementation. And could theoretically be what slows them down, but they should have planned for it from the beginning, so I don't know. But is Twitch's kind of big stream thing is that they always deliver source first and transcode later, And with AV1, that is a problem. So, I don't know. I can't speculate too much. I just hope they make an announcement before too much longer. But hey, that's what I felt about the HDMI 2.1 capture cards. Took us friggin' 3 years to get there, so whatever. You played me. Oh, shotgun. Thank you, teammate. I'll take it. Bye! That's not a... The window is not a portal surface. Okay. I missed! He's slowed down! Down in the Splitgate on my stream deck right now. I thought you already had it, that you played it all the time in dock mode. You lying to me now? Messing with me. Do it. Always download the Splitgates. It's a fairly small title. Although I guess on the Steam Deck every gigabyte counts, right? Whoa, what happened to my viewport there? I meleeed and I like got forcibly turned. That was weird. Can I quit being bad at aiming again? Thank you. Ask and you shall receive, I suppose. Ow. That was weird. Multi-kill saved. I didn't get a multi-kill in video. I died. It's like, black screen, you must have killed a bunch of people. Nope. It's like I'm not turning fast enough. Yeah. Where? Down there? Thanks for revealing yourself unnecessarily. What? What? Shotgun to the chest and my melee didn't count? Getting robbed. Oh, they're all here. So many of them. There's Splitgate sequel in the works. Yeah, so they halted. Wow, that music's really loud now. They... Last year? I think it was last year. They announced that they stopped like active development on Splitgate and are moving that focus. I turned my game sound down when I was trying to turn my music down. And they moved that focus to a new title, a new Splitgate title. Don't know if it'll be like somehow a sequel. There's no story, so sequel doesn't really make sense, but you know. We don't know what it'll be. But it'll be something. Seen the new 1.7 update for SVT AV1 on GitLab? Nope. I don't, like, I glance at them sometimes just out of curiosity, but like, I don't have any real use case for the CPU AV1 encoders. So, like, even for VODs, it's just not worth it most of the time. So I'm glad it's still getting update and cool stuff, but I am excited. So since I got that AMD card in that I showed earlier, the AV1 AMD card, I gotta work on some scripting, consult ChatGPT and whatever, because, you know, I have limited experience, but I'm gonna set up effectively a watch folder on the rig this is the AV1 card will be in, so that I can just automatically transcode my YouTube exports. Because on my Mac Studio, one of my big complaints so far is that in about half the applications, the Apple hardware H.265 and H.264 encoders are they just look terrible. But it's not all the time. It's only like Resolve, which is a big one for me, and then like Handbrake. But in OBS, it seems to look okay, although not great sometimes. Like, it's super weird. And so I have been doing most of my videos in ProRes, which I have gigabit fiber, so most of the time it's not an issue to just upload the ProRes file, but it is a slowdown, and it does take longer to process on YouTube than HEVC or AV1 would. And so, how did I miss both of them? I like shot in between two moving, almost in sync people. And so I want to get, once I get that card set up and do all my testing and whatever, a watch folder set up so that I can just export my ProRes file to a folder, and it immediately picks it up and encodes it to AV1 with like a super squished down ratio, because it can do it on the card super easily. So that's what I'm stoked for. It's a crappy workaround, but it works. Have you considered doing a deep dive on open source video editors like Kdenlive? It's hard. At one point in time, I absolutely wanted to and had said I would. I have never had a good experience with them. So first and foremost, there's always something glaring that I'm just like, nope, that's a deal breaker. I'm out. And the issue is that none of the open source video editors support most of my workflow. And the only way I'm going to make time and really get invested in trying something like that out is to try to make one of my videos in it, and I just can't. They don't support the RAW formats I use. They won't support the audio formats I use sometimes. They don't support multi-track sometimes, or specific effects that I need, which is obviously going to depend on program and isn't what I'd be super strict about. But like, lots of the big things, like not supporting the footage I need to edit, is just immediately like, I can't recommend it, I can't use it for my own work, so it makes it very difficult to cover. And then I have to create this like fake video scenario where I'm just conjuring up an example video, and it just feels like cheaping out, and I don't know. I would love to at some point, but I don't think it'll be good for anyone, because people will be very mad at what I have to say. Because every time I cover those kinds of programs, they always have to, like, so many commenters get super pissed if I'm not stoked on it. And they're like, well, for an open source program, it's great. And I'm like, that's fine. That doesn't mean you should use it for most people. Like, what monitor are you using right now? It's a BenQ. I covered it. It has the HDRI profiles. It has a bunch of scratches on it and a dead pixel, so it's not a great experience. Not necessarily BenQ's fault, although the dead pixel is, but just 1440p, 144 hertz IPS. Have you ever made a video about X264 very slow real-time encoding? No, don't. Like, some people get it to work under some circumstances on very specific CPUs. There's literally no point. Use NVENC. Like, those profiles are not meant for real-time. Stuff kind of breaks in real-time. There is no, like, the curve of diminishing returns has long since been met on those scenarios. And like sometimes it's cool to make videos on like the crazy what if scenarios, but I don't want to encourage people to keep going down those rabbit holes because so many people get on these weird like elitist things about having to stream with these scenarios, or you get those crappy PC repair tuner people that try to tune it for that crap when you just shouldn't be going for it in the first place. Stream a little bit higher bitrate than 6 megs for Twitch. Use NVENC or QuickSync, or stream to YouTube where you can just do 4K, even when you're not playing in 4K. Like the damage, in my opinion, that would be done from the video is worse than any cool factor. And I just don't have access to like find the specific hardware. Like I've even tried it on my Threadrippers and it doesn't really work. And like I've seen a couple people on like super tuned, souped up like 13900Ks kind of getting it to work. But again, it's not built for that. There's just, I don't think people should be pushing slow in real time. I've done it, but I don't think there's a point to it. And a lot of the stuff in those slower presets is literally designed for like temporal quality upgrades, like over time. And you can't do that in real time. And then you end up having to take out half the flags that make them the slower preset. And then there's no point in doing it in the first place. I'm ready to leave CPU-based video encoders behind forever. What's up, pal Morarian? Watching this on a 4K TV, it looks so good. Heck yeah! Stream quality looks really good. Would you say it's better to do 1440p or 4K than 1440p? Honestly, I don't know. I'm doing a breakdown of YouTube quality in a little bit. And so I'll have more definitive answers again soon. I have noticed for gaming content, at least back in the day, 4K was still superior. Like, it still got such a big upgrade that it was worth it, but it depends, of course, on what format you're coming from. And there's definitely something to be said if you're already, like, playing and capturing in 1440p to just not add any extra complication or steps, because you're already good enough. But 4K definitely gets a little bit more juicy, a little nicer. I'm only doing it today. I was originally converting back to 4K, or 1440p, since that's what I'm playing on in this setup. But I only ended up sticking with 4K because my layout was already configured and I was already 20 minutes late. And I would have to resize every element again to resize everything down to 1440p. So I was just like, I guess we're doing 4K. Backingtrack.gg. This pink light that I have behind my monitor is not that bright. But in some of these webcams, it's like, you'd think I'm just blasted with like a pink floodlight. I can probably set it to white. I switched phones, so I don't know if I have LifeX configured on here. Nope, gotta download it. I have it downloading at least. So you say they're good enough for amateurs but fall apart for pro workflows like yours. Oh, the cheaper video editors? Yeah, I mean, some of them struggled to support like HEVC and stuff at one point in time, and so it's like, that's what a lot of phones are going to be recording in, so. But yeah, I mean, if you're just recording on a basic camcorder or phone and editing a vlog and not doing much, you're probably going to be okay on some of the cheaper editors, assuming the workflow's gotten any better. The workflows on some of them were abysmal a few years ago when I looked. But yeah, for anything, I wouldn't even say professional, just like enthusiast, it's they're not suitable for. But I mean, that's inherent to, like, people don't like to hear this, but in a way that's inherent to being an open source community project. Like, they don't have the resources, team, and like access to support professional users, especially tons of them. Like, as a small, development team or whatever, you don't want someone's mission critical professional work. You don't want to be responsible for that when you don't have the systems or money or teams or whatever to support it. So it's this weird contradiction where people like want that, but it's because everyone's used to pirating software, which isn't cool. Everyone's like, well, I pirated Sony Vegas for so long, why can't someone just make a free version of that? It's like, that was a $600 piece of software at one point in time. You're getting the results of that kind of subsidization. Don't know why I can't talk today. Damn it, I wanted to snipe. Also, I don't get why YouTube just now added HEVC isn't the whole reason AV1 exists. I don't have an answer for that. I think it's for compatibility, but also you still have to use HEVC for HDR on YouTube at the moment. I think it's still only in HLS too. So they implemented HEVC first for HDR support. So I think it was a necessity there. And then they just they were already dealing with it, so they left it. I'm guessing the 30-second lag is still there for 4K. I watched my last message show up on your screen. Probably. You can choose the low latency option, and it only says 4K stops working in ultra low latency. But I think last time I tried low latency, it still only put out 1440p. So I don't know. I don't see it as a big deal. I have a multi-minute delay responding to chat most of the time anyway. I've never put a huge value on chat delay, like, for streams. Like, I've never seen that as a priority. God.
Lost the lead.
Ever tried VBR streaming? Not in a long time. I tried it once on Twitch, a couple times probably on accident. And it was a really bad time. I've been thinking about doing it for YouTube just because you kind of have the headroom, especially with AV1, like setting it up where you stream at like right now I have it set to 20 and then setting the max to like the full 50 or something. That could avoid like any possible quality degradation. Not that you need anywhere near 50 megs for AV1, that's not the point, but I just meant in general with YouTube. But even YouTube still recommends CBR, constant bitrate. Just something about the way the packets are sent and stuff. CBR is still supposed to be like the most stable way to stream. Doesn't mean that in practice it's totally, VBR isn't totally fine. I don't. It's been on my list to play with, and there just hasn't really been a huge point. Because really, like, I'm sending 20 megs to YouTube. There's probably zero artifacting in my source encoding. So like, when you can already overcompensate for it, if you have the bandwidth headroom, oh, I love that skin. If you have the bandwidth headroom to do VBR and the max bitrate be higher in the first place, then you could just send it in the first place. And it's better for your internet connection and stuff. Oh, for Twitch, it's definitely a bad time with Twitch. Oh, you mean streaming AV1 to Twitch? Well, that's interesting. I mean, that sounds like it's able to make the handshake. Wait, how would you? The codec isn't enabled on in OBS for that. So I don't know how you would do that. Stream AV1 to Twitch, but regardless, yeah, I mean, it probably makes the like RTMP handshake to say, hey, I'm live, and then it's not sending a supported codec, so Twitch doesn't actually like spin up any servers or anything. Punched him into the wall. I thought we were playing Domination, not King of the Hill, so I haven't been sitting on the hill. That's probably how we kept losing the blast matches.
Hill control. Hill contested. Hill lost.
Where was he? You can select the AV1 codec too if you do the custom. Oh, I guess that's fair. The custom RTMP. Quake TF2 style rocket launcher versus Halo. I mean, if I'm playing a match with like vehicles and stuff, Halos.
Hill lost.
If I'm just like running and gunning people, probably Quakes. I was never a huge fan of TF2's rocket launcher, honestly. Like, I did some rocket jumping when I was super into TF2 when I tried playing Soldier for a bit, but I never like, it doesn't, the movement in TF2 doesn't feel anything like Quake. And so the rocket launcher feels that much worse when you were like a brick just dropping to the ground. But Quake's rocket launcher with their movement tech is great. Cool Matrix like gun skin, yeah. They got some cool skins in this game. LOL! Cheapest AV1 encoder is the Intel A380. Yep. It's 99 bucks on sale right now, I think, which is insane.
1 minute remaining. Kill moved.
What's up, Dr. Dara? And straight chillaxin'. I hope you're chillaxin'.
Kill lost.
Oh.
Game over.
Rip. Oh. Download Splitgate. Hop in the hunt the community lobby. But yeah, if you missed it, if you're just tuning in, I do have the crazy AMD multi-stream AV1 card in hand. I don't know when exactly coverage will come because this is still very early days and I'm mostly just playing around with it out of interest. But I'll make some sort of video just showing off how completely bonkers it is. By the way, if you're watching this on Twitch, I am streaming this in 4K with AV1 over on YouTube. Go check it out. Looks a lot better. What? Oh, my shot didn't fire there. Damn it. Does AV1 in Ryzen processor set what? I mean, you can encode CPU encoders on the CPUs. That's what you mean. The iGPU doesn't have it. iGPUs aren't going to be good enough for like good AV1 encoding anytime soon. Even the original leaks that suggested Rocket Lake or whatever 14th gen was supposed to have it, it was going to be quote unquote low power AV1 encoding. Just because it's not the same kind of capacity or space on the quote unquote GPU die to do it. Even if I know what people mean, I try to second guess when they ask things like have AV1, because having AV1 doesn't make sense as a question and gets even more confusing because hardware can decode AV1 but not encode it. And so the Ryzen 7000 that have iGPUs can decode AV1, I think, but they can't encode it. So if I just say it has AV1, like that doesn't help you. Hope your day is going well. Hope your day is going well, straight chillaxin'. Mine's going alright. Kiddo's getting babysat. Oh, show us the game. Okay. Happens at least once every stream. At least it was the pre-lobby. But yeah, just getting this going till around 6 Eastern, so we got about 50 more minutes till this event's over. And then I don't know what I'm doing for the weekend, honestly. I'm gonna give you all a teaser of my new shop for the OBS course and everything after this match. I am having to ditch Gumroad. The Gumroad has cost me for the OBS course $4,000 in fees for all my course sales, which is a significant amount. And like that's a very significant amount of number of courses sold that I have effectively lost to those fees. And so I've switched to my own platform on my own website. And while not everything is ready, and I still have some updates to the course that I was supposed to make in the meantime that I need to put up there before I like do the full formal announcement and transfer and whatever. I want to give you all a preview. You can check it out and stuff. Alright, I guess I'm going down there. After I get the railgun. Or not. There we go. Nope. I wasted it. Okay. I fell for the bait. I fell for the bait. Yeah, I mean, the A380 is a beast. It doesn't... In real time, it struggles with a lot of 4K workloads. For streaming and encoding. It's mostly the compositing side, which is what I said in all my coverage, that the higher VRAM and higher overall capacity of the A750 and 70 would be a lot better for that. But the amount of work it can do. Hey, do you know where I can get a super hot, sexy VHS look to use on the footage? Conveniently, it's on that website too. Which I'll show you after this match. But yeah, like, the amount of work I've seen people be able to get done because they bought the A380, which again is a $100 card, is just insane. Yep, that sucked. Like, someone in our Discord is using it for their remote render box. And they're able to just render out all their videos and stuff in 4K without any issues. And they're able to use it as just like an OBS encoder to encode to their network storage. So they don't have to worry about transferring files or anything, and it's all just been mostly seamless once things started working fully. I think this OBS 30 update is when dual GPU for ARC is finally like really usable, so I need to finally test that. Because despite the LTT video on it and stuff, like, it hasn't been all that usable if you have dual GPUs and the ARC is the second one. Like, there's been lots of issues with the encoders going back and forth and whatever. So first gen Intel having straight AV1 is sick. Yeah, I mean, I was initially at least, I was very surprised that Intel came out to be first for AV1 encoding on their cards. But looking back and seeing that they were the first to implement a lot of features, even on their iGPUs, I guess it makes sense. And like, they kind of needed to, like obviously they have some issues with their cards anyway, but like, they were gonna be in an awkward position if they didn't have it and they launched against competitors that do, because they're already in this awkward kind of like Nintendo position in terms of horsepower. Like, not as powerful as everyone else, but you want it for like specific features or whatever, so missing it would have been kind of a problem. And it's such a good selling point for the cheap cards. I keep pushing them to do some sort of what is it? Like a capture card, encoding card combo. If they really want to like find a market, just leverage the niche that you are excelling at. I'm not a business person. I can't do marketing numbers. I can't promise anyone will sell anything. But in terms of the logic to me and what the community wants, to me that would be a massive win. It could be way too expensive and not worth it for them. I don't know. Oh, right as the portal closed. That felt good. We're losing badly though, so I need to help hold this hill. Did a dual GPU recently and it worked okay. I had to run 2 instances of OBS, 2 different graphics profiles. Wait, were you sending from one instance of OBS to the other across the GPUs? That's definitely not Oh, you're sacrificing so much performance doing that. Yeah, that's not a good flow. That almost completely erases any benefit you're getting from it. It is so hard to hold those points. Have you by any chance tried ripping any CDs in 2023? I mean, I have. I haven't had any issues. I can't say I've ripped a 2023 release CD, but I can't imagine there's any new secure, like, no. That would break compatibility with players and stuff, so definitely not. Probably some other issue, but I couldn't probably tell you what it is. I tried at the end. Always sucks to be the guy that's dying at the final kill cam. Oh yeah, okay. So I was gonna show you all a preview of the new site. So aesthetic-wise, this is completely incomplete, just to be clear. So don't focus on the aesthetics, because that's not at all the point. Just the functionality. And the fact that I don't have to pay anywhere near as much insane fees. So I will go ahead and pop this in both chats. My URL, as amazing as it is glitch.mov. And it is this site here. I have most of my digital products that I typically sell up on it already. So I've got my classic YouTube After Effects and Photoshop template. I've got my Nikon film emulation pack, my HDR LUTs, and then I have my Midjourney stuff from my AI channel. But then I also have a new VHS pack for DaVinci Resolve. I still have to test if it'll work on DaVinci Resolve free. I ran out of time this morning. Wow, this is like completely blowing up my face. There we go. But I spent an entire day crafting this, well, longer than that, but crafting this based on actual VHS tapes, because I feel like all built-in VHS effects on like plugins and stuff are really bad. And this is designed to actually emulate what a degraded VHS tape would look like. And so I've got that available. And then this will be the new home for the OBS course. And I can't show you here at the moment. I have no clue why the dotted list is doing this. Every time I try to fix it, it just goes back to this. But regardless. But in the old system, you would have to, like, with the old platform I was using, it was just a big list of videos. And there's 126 videos in this course. And so I already, from the, as the perfectionist in me, already hated the physical functionality of the old platform in that regard. But it was what I had to launch with. This one actually has it divided up into modules and individual lessons, and it tracks completion, and people were requesting completion certificates to be able to buy it through their work or whatever. I'll actually be able to give that out directly in the platform now. So much of it is significantly better. What's up, Cuppa Robots? All right. We've got, what, 40 minutes left? Let's try to actually win a match. I feel like we have not won a single match. I have been rusty as hell, so a lot of it's my fault, but it's also just been rough days. We're gonna snipe. They're already all the way over there. Yep, okay. I feel like I only got hit with 2 shots there and still died, but that's okay. Means I gotta get all the way back up. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Nope. Alright, that's fine. Really? Jerk! Ah, he's like 1 shot, dude. Alright, there he is. Where you at? All the way up there? This map has so many, like, little spots. Hello! Oh, hi! I see why they were up here now. Bye. Bye. Nope, 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 nope. I love this game. I know I'm not like pub stomping like I usually do, but just being able to mindlessly go in the game and have these conversations while I play, rather than having to sweat my butt off to have a good time. Games aren't built that way anymore. I mean, this one was, but, you know, by default. Backandtrack.gg. If you missed it, we did a did a collab with Evo 2023. Freaking awesome song. It's pinned on the website if you want to check it out. How's the game still? Is it fun? Hell yeah! The community team's just been going nuts with these little events and cool, like, alternate game modes and stuff, which is something I said they needed to do a lot of, so it's been really cool to see. Again, I feel like I only got hit by 2 of those. Whenever I try streaming in AV1, the stream just buffers, no idea why. Try making a new stream key. See if that fixes it. Like, you gotta make a new RTMPS stream key for the resolution you're streaming. I think a lot of people are using the older stream keys that they used before for like 1080p and H.264, and those just aren't working. I don't know what else would cause it. Got it. Pull! Aw. What? Evo 2023 was pretty awesome, I heard. Hell yeah! I feel like this whole match went quiet all of a sudden. Where is everyone? Are they having a game meeting without me? Back here? Nope, already gone. Oh. Hello, aim! Thank you. Oh, they closed my portal. Also, I don't think X264 is obsolete. Well, it is, because literally just HGVC. The second another codec is enabled, H.264 itself is obsolete. And everyone who keeps saying, or like everyone who comes to me and says, I want the best quality stream like this person who streams in slow or slower or very slow or whatever, they usually end up thinking perceptually that my NVINC streams, it's not an if, it's a when. As soon as another codec is implemented on any given website, H.264 is dead. But, yeah, like, perceptually, those people always end up thinking that my NVINC Twitch streams look just as good, because when set up right and you don't have way too many overlays and whatever, looks fine. Looks great. Competes with all you need. Look at Twitch. Yes, Twitch, the one lagging behind, but who has also invested millions of dollars into AV1 because they also think that H.264 is obsolete. Zero reason to use anything besides AV1. I don't... HEVC is still a big deal. Like, obviously there's licensing concerns and all that jazz or whatever. But in terms of, like, practical usability on your end, I still use HEVC a ton internally for that, because the current AV1 encoders don't support 444 chroma subsampling and a bunch of other stuff like that, so... I don't use AV1 for, like, everything, but it's pretty good. The gear's kind of expensive for everyone. Not really. Again, your 3060 has HEVC.
Game over.
It's not limited to H.264. And no, I mean, if you're making money with your stream and quality is a concern for you, then yeah, selling your graphics card to get the better encoder so you can make more money or like feel like you're producing a better product is worth it. Gonna be worth it to anyone who's making money doing this as a job, absolutely. It's not gonna be worth it to, you know, people like us just, well, I say that, I'm a full-time creator. People who just stream to a few viewers and just like play and aren't doing it for a job. No, it's not worth it. But at that point, like, again, you're also, if you're, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're in that position, then optimizing, getting a super expensive CPU to optimize for X264 very slow is also not a good idea. Like, I think that's the big thing for me, is optimizing for those crazy CPU presets requires expensive hardware too, which will have far more diminishing returns as those codecs become irrelevant. Would you rather spend a couple $100, significantly more for the CPU side, but you know, spend money to get better quality in the short term, or spend money, which can be less money with art cards, to get better quality in the short and long term? Because QuickSync H.264 is really good too. AV1 on a 5900X is a good alternative. 5900X is a very expensive CPU, dude. And would be very terrible to pair with a 3060. Don't buy a 5900X if you're running a 3060. Thanks, Zooey. Hope you're doing well. I have a whole box full of like budget capture cards and stuff to review. The problem is so many of them these days are just fly-by-night Amazon sellers that are gonna vanish, and thus, what happened to my viewport? This keeps happening. And thus aren't a good idea to, like, cover, because by the time I get around to covering them, they're gonna be gone. But also, like, the market for doing videos on those has changed so much, I struggled to figure out how to position them. Like, in 2020, it's like, oh yeah, here's a $5 capture card, here's a $20 capture card, here's a $50 capture card, and everyone ate it up. In 2023, people don't really care. And so it's very hard, like, capture card reviews were a pillar content of my channel that I no longer really know how to market. And so I've kind of just stopped accidentally because I want to make entertaining videos that people want to watch, not documentation about capture cards that'll disappear in 6 months and aren't all that useful. Aren't they all that $20 cheap capture card? Not all of them. I'm talking my voice out. I don't know how people do like 8-hour streams anymore. I would lose my voice doing that like multiple days a week. Intel QuickSync. Well, that's GPU encoding. QuickSync is GPU encoding, but yeah, it is very good. And again, the issue, and I don't do a good enough job of explaining this, but there's only so much nuance and caveats and whatever I can put into a video. The issue with comparing GPU, like encoders in general, is that they're all gonna have strengths for different subject matters. Like, NVENC is really good in a lot of games, but specifically dark games has been a struggle for people with NVENC. And I've seen a lot of stuff, and I want to do some really deep testing on it. But I've seen a lot of stuff where it seems like NVENC is weaker for compressing your cam and your overlays and stuff, because it prioritizes, like, it's tuned specifically to focus on the centered gameplay and not your camera and other feeds. Because they can do that kind of tuning, so they did. And so there is a lot of little tuning and coverage that I want to do at some point. And so, like, NVENC can beat out a lot of the encoders at general purpose stuff, but dark stuff and facecam stuff it might be weaker at. I don't know who is better at dark stuff, so I can't really, like, say anything in that regard, but it does seem like QuickSync is better at maintaining your overlays. And X264 is as well, but then you have to go in and manually manage all these like insane usage flags for X264 that no streamer should have to bother learning, and I don't even want to bother learning to teach people. It's a learned skill. Yeah, it's one that I have like unlearned due to not streaming so much. It was my goal this year. It might have to be next year now. At some point, I'm gonna finally get a vocal coach. Like, I should have done it 10 years ago, but... yeah, ultimately, like, you only have so many bits to go to so many places in an encode, so... It stands to reason that an encoder optimized for a market of game streamers would want to prioritize the gameplay. But if you do, like, balance that out and also prioritize the face cam, well, then you are gonna lose quality on the gameplay. Like, you gotta take the quality from somewhere. That's what I like about the AMD fancy AV1 card, is they have all the AI stuff in it once it's ready, which will be... I'll cover it when I can. Once that stuff's ready, they'll be... I showed in my video, they could, like, define zones, so it's like, alright, priorities on the center subject, but second priorities on the second subject, so you can put it for, like, center gameplay and then your face cam, and so it will prioritize those two over everything else. And for super low bandwidth scenarios, that'll be huge. Or for, like, event coverage or whatever. Or if Twitch still keeps a low bitrate cap. Are they still trying to just go up top? Yep. What? What? How did I miss? That's weird. I should not have missed those shots. Let's try again. I'm not that rusty. I still know my timings. I thought. Well, that was an obvious miss. Nope, I do not know my timings. Okay. Feels bad, man. If I have a 2 PC setup, can I have my recording settings set to, like, slow very good? I mean, you have to test and find out. You still have to have enough processor room for decoding all your sources, your overlays, everything else, so... Actually, no. There's no point in using slower presets on recordings because you can just do higher quality profiles. Like, you should be using a CRF profile, which is just a quality target for your recording, and then none of the extra tunings really matter because you're just feeding it whatever bitrate it wants. What does a vocal coach teach you? How to speak and use your voice properly and take care of it? Vocal coach? It's in the name? Twitch should third-party the transcoding IMO. Maybe that would help with AV1 onboarding. No, it would not. They're literally part of Amazon. The third party they would offload it onto would be them. They are the ones that do the transcoding for everyone else. No. What are you looking up at? You okay over there, dude? What are you looking at? Okay. Hi. Hello. Oh, I forgot what the email button is. What's my email button? Q? Nope. I forgot. Oh, I think that was it. Whatever I just hit. There it is. I have the same emote. Imagine if Twitch made a plugin for OBS where OBS does all the transcoding for the quality options. I mean, that would be kind of interesting for event streams or something, but like, actually no, that would be worse for event streams because then the event's responsible for it. I struggle to see a real scenario where that would be as useful as it sounds. Most people don't have the upload bandwidth for that, or the processing power for that, so it would help like a small handful of people. Wouldn't really help Twitch any. Would add a ton of latency and other issues to the stream. And then they'd still have to use crazy server stuff to like collate all those streams together into your list and switch between them. I've been vocally, like outwardly, very critical of Twitch for their slowness to adopt AV1, but I want to be clear that they were the ones that laid the groundwork for any of us to even be talking about AV1 today in terms of game streaming. Like, they were the ones who made this push, who made that investment, who started that conversation. And so I'm trying to remain cautiously optimistic about whatever reasoning there might be for it to not have happened yet. They've also had a ton of restructuring and whatever since then. Like, for the NVIDIA graphics card launch, I interviewed their, like, main guy who did their encoding pipeline for the entire, like, existence of Twitch. And he moved on in 2021 to another company. And so, I don't know what, like, got kept, what got left behind in terms of priorities, any of that. What's up, Zelliversal? Yeah, he moved to TikTok. And TikTok still doesn't have any AV1 support, but phones don't really, so I'm not sure that means anything. Yeah, I'm super grateful I got to interview him before he left. I didn't get to publish the interview, but, you know, I got to ask my questions, talk about it. Reducing the 1080p streams from 6 megs to 3.5 is a big one. Yeah, seriously. Like, people talk a lot about how expensive the hardware is to get into AV1. And there are a lot more people that could happily buy whatever hardware to start streaming AV1 that can't do anything to give themselves a better internet connection. So, I don't know. Actually, never mind. How much time we have left on this event? About 20 minutes. Yeah, TikTok has their own H.265 and H.264 encoders in, like, the Studio app, but they're terrible. You want to use the normal GPU ones. But they have clearly experimented with video encoding a fair bit. They're clearly putting in the work to figure out what works for them. What? Don't even need a dual PC setup. Exactly. Although the new OBS update is really good for dual PC stuff. I can't wait to actually, like, test it out and show it off. I wanted to do it for this video and just didn't get time. Also read that their parent company made their own codec or something. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. At least in my testing on the TikTok Live app, it looks kind of garbage. Oh, thank you for the raid, Grumtastic! We're finishing up a Splitgate event here. Just hanging out, trying to kill community members. Getting murdered mostly. Some newer Android phones have AV1. Well, that's good to know. I was under the impression Snapdragon wasn't going for it, so that was making me nervous.
Double kill.
I love teleport. Okay.
Double kill.
Damn. I think most hardware can decode VP9 and it looks excellent. It looks okay. There's basically no hardware to encode VP9. It's really strange. And like supposedly Intel GPUs can do it, like even iGPUs, but there's zero support like anywhere for it. It is a very confusing thing. And it's not something they really advertise much. Snapdragon has AV1 decode since Gen 2. I don't know what Gen 2 means in that context, given Snapdragon processors have been around for a very, very long time. Isn't AV1 support mandatory for Android 14? Yeah, but think about how many devices launch on older Android versions. Like, I mean, if it is mandatory, that's really cool. It'll just be decode, but that's a good step. Snapdragon 8 Gen 2? Oh, okay. I don't know what the mobile processors are called. It's all a mess. Alright, we got some domination going on one of my favorite maps. This is a very Unreal-like map. I'm not gonna get my jetpack back in time. Well. So that's cool that they have it. I wish mobile encoders were a lot better about frame rate stability, because that's something I run into even on the M1 stuff, or M1 and M2, is that they are optimized for VFR, variable frame rate. Like they're designed to just drop frames like crazy for stability, and they're not designed to just run stably, and that's a really bad time in most environments. It's fine on a phone, where you want your video to be recorded and not just stop because a frame dropped for some unknown reason. But it's a bad time everywhere else. And it's a really frustrating scenario.
5 minutes remaining. Be secure. Losing C.
He almost blended in with the map there.
Lost. A secure.
There are also leaks that the upcoming Google Pixel 8 will have AV1 encoding. Oh, that's a big deal. That's really exciting. I have no interest in buying an Android phone anytime soon, but that would be a lot of fun to play around with.
C. Lost.
Especially for big phone recording, like for videos and stuff. And the screen captures. Ooh, that would be great. I'm gonna go for B. I can feel them all around me. Got it. Aw, bro. Not on my watch. Whoa. He just flew past me. Alright. 2C. So anyone who wants to stream right now, AV1 hardware, getting A380 from Intel. I mean, if you want the cheapest way, yeah. Absolutely. If you want a game on the same system, AMD cards have it now. Obviously, NVIDIA. Again, if you're doing anything with a bunch of graphics or layouts or higher than 1080p, I strongly urge you to get the A750 or A770 if you can over the A7 or A380. But it is a wonderful budget option. Especially like once Plex gets support and stuff, like that's gonna be nuts. People were spending bonkers money on old Teslas and stuff for Plex. Or like Quadros. And the A380 is just like, I mean, it's not gonna do as many streams, but what? How did I miss? My gun wouldn't like lower. Oh, with dual GPU? Yeah. I mean, you still might want it because you could still do your compositing on it on the second GPU, and you want the higher power for that, but I gotta quit looking at chat. I gotta. I'm joking. It's always the struggle. There was a time when like that was the standard struggle with streaming, was like keeping up a chat while you gamed. How do you do it? Like, that was everyone's question, and now everyone's like, now that esports has taken over the streaming scene, whereas it used to be casual arcade gaming, everyone just ignores chat while they're playing, which just makes for a lot of dead air most of the time. Man, I hate the ring around the rosy people do with portal spots. Alright, we are losing. We're gonna lose again. The teams we've been going up against have been great. I've not really been focusing since I'm chatting with y'all, so sorry to any teammates I've had. As I'm looking at my keyboard instead of the enemies. I think I just grenade canceled. That was cool. Handheld and tablet devices must support decoding AV1 for Android 14. Well, that's freaking sick. Got my bot to make a ping sound every time someone talks in chat. That sounds really annoying. Like, I mean, I see the advantage, but that would be really annoying to listen to. That's where they've been hiding. Alright, I think we got time for one more game. Well, maybe two. We still got 13 minutes. That was only a 7-minute game. Enable TTS so we can 777777777. Oh, appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. I don't usually do Saturday streams, but we're having fun. Glasses with headphones is kind of annoying. I don't really know what my video is going to be next week. There was a loud sound. I don't know what that was. But I will have a video for y'all. I've been working on some stuff for the art channel regarding like the VHS effect I just made and stuff like that, so that may be my focus for this upcoming week. I do have a lot of videos overdue for the main channel though. It's really tough to juggle the different outlets. He moved. If I bought your course on Gumroad, will I be able to access it on glitch.mov? Yes, absolutely. I'm still working on setting up the transfer for that because it's kind of complicated with Shopify, but that is 100% the flow. I'm pretty sure I will have a coupon code that I just email to all the course members. I have it limited to the number of people who have bought it on Gumroad so that no one can just, you know, steal the course, but I'm pretty sure that will be the play. I could potentially like manually assign everyone's email address to have access to the course, but it would take days, and I'd rather just have you all sign up, I think, so I can focus on adding the extra content I need to add and that kind of stuff. But yeah, you will have access to the new version. Consider the first one like 0.5 launch, and this will be the relaunch. Ow! You mentioned you were working with AMD to do streaming optimization for GPUs. Yeah, I don't really know what happened to that, honestly. Haven't heard from the Radeon team in a while. Heard from the enterprise side at AMD, but haven't really heard from the Radeon team all year. Which is kind of disappointing. They did send me, that's not technically true. They sent me the 7600, and I only had a few days for it, and I just could not spin up benchmarks in time, and so I still have my script and the benchmarks I did run, and I was waiting on my AV1 quality benchmark, so I think I'm going to just do a small, like, budget second PC GPU showdown between ARC and the 7600, and frame it that way, I think is the play. Not me getting an ad as soon as I type my question. Let me know when you're back. I'll say it again. Why not get some of those over-rear clip-ons if the glasses make traditional headphones annoying? Because those headphones are miserable. Especially for long-term wear. Like, I'd rather just wear normal headphones. Alright, you're back. So I said, I don't really know what happened to it. I haven't really heard from the Radeon team much this year, aside from they did send me the 7600, the budget GPU, and I only had a few days for it, so I couldn't really spin up benchmarks in time for launch. So I am working on some sort of budget ARC versus 7600 kind of budget streaming GPU rundown, showdown, whatever. But I just couldn't spin up my coverage in time, and then it felt kind of pointless, and I don't know. It's awkward to get products to try to benchmark and compete with people who do it on launch because I just can't. I don't have the resources. There's only one me, and I don't get a whole lot of work time these days. But it also feels pointless to launch this stuff after the launch window coverage, so it's, I don't know, it's weird. I do plan on getting the video out, but it's obviously of questionable value at this point. I'm mostly doing it just for sunk cost fallacy's sake, I guess. Please close your portal, damn it. No, still nothing.
Tied the leader. Gain the lead. Lost the lead.
I missed. But yeah, I'll get something out on the card. It's pretty good for what it is. Like, I was pleasantly surprised, but I hadn't taken a hard look at, like, the comparison numbers yet, just basing that on my experience using it directly.
Tied the leader. Lost.
But I was very impressed with what it could run and how well it could run it. Annoyingly, like, at the time, and I'm not really gonna take the time to probably run them again, but like my Photoshop and benchmarks and stuff just wouldn't even run at all. So that was really annoying. So it will be a very small video for such a long wait, but I do what I can. I really can't stand benchmarking anyway, so kind of do it what's necessary and then avoid it. Other than that, oh! Okay. My internet actually held up today. I've had a lot of issues. I keep having to reset my router every day or two because the bandwidth just tanks and everything gets super like high latency, so websites take forever to like start loading. It's super weird, and I've naturally had more issues streaming because of it, but is this the first 7000 tier card you own physically? No, I have a XT, 7900 XT. Just again, was way after launch, so finding the angle to cover it is annoying. What kind of line is it? Gigabit fiber. So like, it's amazing when it works, but recently, specifically, it has just had some issues. And I'm trying to like find a way, find the right person to talk to convince them to turn on the 2.5 gig fiber that they have for areas very close to me, because that would be huge. And I already have a 10 gig line running from the house where the fiber hookup is to the studio, so I would just need a better switch in the house to pump it out here. Would be sick, but every time I check, they just don't have it in my area, and there's no options to even like ask about it or anything. But especially with the multi-streaming I do and stuff, like, it would be pretty nice. All right, one more match. Let's get this going. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I'm trying to stream once a week at least, every week. I missed yesterday's stream, but making it up with this one today, I forgot I was doing, honestly, so I was kind of bummed about missing yesterday's stream, and like, I could have made it work, but it wouldn't have been ideal. And yesterday I was so hyper-focused on that VHS pack on the glitch.mov site anyway, that that's all I cared about. And I was exhausted, and I had to help out with kiddo in the house. I could have made it work, but it wasn't an ideal scenario. So, it worked out though. We streamed today. Yesterday was supposed to be streamer news, but I didn't really have any topics lined up, and the only topic anyone's really talking about in their tech news shows at the moment is the LTT drama, which I'm not going to talk about in a video, so. I don't know. I don't want to be too critical of specific people. Thanks, Vinny, for the kind words, by the way. You're right, people will. It's just hard to... People will watch versus actual performance and numbers is rough. But yeah, I don't want to be too critical of anyone specific, but I find very little value in other tech YouTubers that don't work for LTT or Gamers Nexus giving their input on the situation, and I would find it very weird to assume that it's my job to inform people on things happening with some of the largest channels in the space, far bigger than myself. Like, I don't need to tell people about it. It's not like I'm reporting it as the first time they're hearing about it. I don't know. But everyone wants to get those drama views. Get that drama mean. Like, there's nothing... I have lots I could say because I talk for a living, so I always have thoughts on things. But there is nothing that I could actually say that holds any value to anyone about this situation. And same thing for most people. Oh, that's cool. Thought it was fair that hardware and box weighed in since that... Yeah... I mean, it would be fine for them to weigh in on the extent to which they were mentioned and kind of criticized by the labs person. And, like, their stance on those differences and the professionalism of it being said or whatever. But the whole rest of everything else that came up, Because trust me, I got lots of thoughts, but I don't think it makes sense. And given the other stuff that came out of it, aside from the original labs tour mention and the GN video or whatever, like the extra stuff that came out of it, like no one else should be speaking on that unless they have first-hand or anonymous source accounts. That's cool, shoots lizard. Had to try. Well, this finally feels like a good match now that it's our last one. Or an easy match, at least. Maybe the game's going easy on me. It's like, alright, you've sucked this whole time, you're about to rage quit. Please just kill some people. I'm not even doing that well. I wish they had some more of the, like, more exotic modes in this playlist, though. Like, snipers and stuff, I'm great at. I don't have the attention span for Team TDM today. That is the kind of weird back and forth, and I guess it's a contradiction in my stances on games in the first place too. But like, of what I call like the mindless arcade shooter kind of style of play, is that it does become difficult to be invested in winning. And like I am all the time, especially in Halo and whatever. But like when I am sitting back and chilling, like I have no incentive to try super hard and win. Because there's no consequence to me dying right now. And I think people don't always like that. I don't know, that's just how I want to play. I guess I can say, like, it would be not distasteful. It would be not distasteful to say, wow, I completely woofed that rocket. That this whole debacle has taught me, no, not taught me, has reaffirmed my stance that I never want to, like for a long time, you know, all tech, business, entrepreneur, or whatever BS, that whole scene is all about, you gotta be the next Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, whatever, you gotta turn what you do well into an empire, and blah, blah, blah. And like, LTT is like the dream figure in that regard. Like, they started as a little YouTube channel and turned into this big conglomerate. I mean, not really, but you know, a big, massive multi-channel endeavor with 100+ employees or whatever. Like, they took it, they made it an empire. This whole everything has reminded me how much I want to not go down that path and how much I want to just do my own thing, even if it means less success or fame or whatever the fuck people want from this. Because I just want to do my own thing at my own pace. Like, it is super stressful trying to compete with everyone. Like, as much as people call BS on it or whatever, especially as someone who also has ADHD, I understand Linus's stress with regards to feeling like you have to compete with everything all the time and move at 200% speed, because the entire industry of this creator enthusiast press field is set up in such a way that you are made to feel like that is what is required. Like, you get a product, you were supposed to overnight, you know, 24/7 work for 3 days to get the review out on launch day because your views will tank otherwise. But also, if you're a smaller channel, your views will still tank because everyone else is doing it. It's this big contradiction, and it is a lot of pressure and stress that being responsible for other people's, like, yearly income, their revenue, their insurance, any of that, on top of being pushed into a CEO style management role, is not something I ever want. I couldn't be a CEO. I couldn't do what Linus did for however many years and what he wanted to get out of, because that's just not my role. I am a creator. I want to create stuff, and I don't want to be responsible for all these people. I don't want all the logistical problems with doing, you know, a 100-person company. It has taught me, or reaffirmed, that that's all I want out of this is, you know, a small team enough to, like, pick up some of my slack and do some of the stuff that I want to do alone. But I want to hang out in my cool arcade-themed box, play with cool tech toys that most people can't have hands on, and do whatever, and make cool art. Like, I don't want to be, like, I'm an educator, you know, for my content role, especially as Epos Vox, not as my other channels, I guess, my whatever persona you might attach to those. But, you know, as Epos Vox, I am an educator, and so I have a lot of responsibility that I take very seriously and assign to that role, and I enjoy being the source of things like capture card reviews. Like, I was the only one reviewing them for a long time. Same with webcams. I was the only one reviewing them in a specific, you know, in a proper professional way for a long time, and I'm still the only one who does proper testing of webcams, or capture cards, not webcams, capture cards. I enjoy being that role, having an expertise, being able to play to my strengths in that regard, whatever. But I don't want to be the super hardcore benchmark everything, get scientific. I don't have the attention span for that. It is incredibly difficult for me to keep track of benchmark numbers and keep tests consistent. And every time one little variant changes and I have to go retest everything, it costs me entire nights of sleep, and it completely kills whatever motivation or, you know, whatever happy feeling in my brain allows me to continue focusing on the project. And I can't do that. And so I don't want to be that person. I never want to, like, I don't want growth at the cost of losing what I enjoy out of what I'm doing. And it's really hard to balance, because I also want my bills to be paid, my family to be cared for, and to be able to afford to keep doing this as freely as I do. So it's this weird whatever. But this whole mess has just kind of shown me that, yeah, I want to stay being me. I don't want to be a CEO. I don't want a big team. I don't want an empire. I don't even want, like, I used to want these big, like, MKBHD's office or LTT's warehouse or whatever. I don't even want something that's detached from my house still at this point. Like, I want the freedom to merge the two and to do whatever. And that's kind of, yeah, that's where I'm at. Thanks, Blizz. Thanks, Zooey. Thanks, everyone who hung out in today's stream. Shout out to the Splitgate devs for community team for organizing all this stuff. I just want a petabyte server of my own. Same. And have a great weekend. I'll see you in a future stream. Bye-bye.